All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about the adzuki bean. You've probably seen it, right? Maybe in some sweet desserts or as a side dish. But what's hiding inside this little bean is a pretty incredible story, one that stretches from ancient folklore and traditional medicine all the way to some seriously impressive modern science. So we're going to peel back the layers and find out how this tiny red bean got its big reputation as a jewel of health.
So let me ask you this. Can a bean, a simple bean, actually ward off evil spirits? I know, it sounds like something straight out of a fantasy novel. But for centuries, this is exactly what people believed. And this wasn't just some old wives' tale. It was a really important part of cultural practices, all designed to protect people, purify their homes, and bring them good luck. So why this bean? Well, it all comes down to its color. In ancient beliefs, that deep red color was thought to hold a kind of positive, powerful energy that could literally push back against evil and bad luck. That's why on the winter solstice, the longest, darkest night of the year, families would eat adzuki porridge to keep themselves safe. They'd sprinkle the beans around a new home to bless it, use them in wedding ceremonies to ensure a happy future, and they even drop them into wells, hoping to keep the water pure during epidemics.
But, the story doesn't stop with folklore. The belief in the adzuki bean's power wasn't just about its color. It was also based on real, observable health benefits, things that people noticed long before we had the science to explain them. And this is where the lines between myth and medicine start to blur in a really fascinating way.
This right here is a huge piece of the puzzle. We're talking about the Dongui Bogum, a foundational text in traditional Korean medicine from way back in the 17th century. And it's not talking about spirits, it's talking about medicine. The fact that it specifically points out the adzuki bean's ability to act as a diuretic and help with circulation, well, that shows us that doctors were using it for its real physical benefits for hundreds of years. The myth was starting to get some medical backing.
And that brings us to today, because now modern science is finally unpacking exactly why those ancient traditions and old school doctors were so on the money. It turns out the adzuki bean is absolutely loaded with compounds that work like our body's own internal security team.
Okay, I want you to remember this word, saponin. It's a completely natural compound found in adzuki beans, and believe me, it is one of the star players in this whole story. It does some truly incredible things inside our bodies, and we're going to be talking about it a lot as we go.
And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? For your heart, you get this amazing 1-2 punch. The saponin helps lower bad cholesterol, and at the same time, the high potassium content helps your body get rid of extra sodium, which can lower blood pressure. It's also packed with antioxidants that help protect our cells and can even slow the growth of cancer cells. For anyone watching their blood sugar, it helps promote insulin secretion. And get this, it even helps the liver do its job, clearing out toxins and fats. So it's protecting you from the inside, but the benefits don't stop there. The adzuki bean is also a bit of a powerhouse for just boosting your overall vitality, your energy, your appearance, and just strengthening your body from the outside in. So what's the secret sauce for all this vitality? It really comes down to this, vitamin B1. The adzuki bean has one of the highest concentrations of B1 you can find in any grain, period. And this one vitamin is an absolute game changer when it comes to turning our food into fuel and fighting off that tired, sluggish feeling.
So how exactly does it work? Well, first, vitamin B1 is absolutely critical for breaking down carbs, which is our body's main source of energy. Second, it helps stop the buildup of stuff in our system that actually causes fatigue. And third, it's a huge supporter of our nervous system, which can translate to better memory, less anxiety, and even help you get a better night's sleep. It's a total boost for your body and your brain. I absolutely love this little detail. This isn't some new health craze you'd see on social media. This is an ancient beauty secret. For generations, people would grind adzuki beans into a fine powder and use it as a natural face wash. And it turns out there's a really good scientific reason it works so well. Remember that saponin we talked about for heart health? Well, it also creates this light, natural foam that's amazing for cleansing pores. You combine that with all the antioxidants fighting skin aging, and you've got yourself a powerful, natural beauty ingredient. The bean's high-quality protein and B vitamins also feed the scalp to promote healthy hair, while its rich mineral content, we're talking calcium and iron, supports strong bones and helps prevent anemia.
Okay, but with any food that's this powerful, it's always smart to know how to use it correctly. The adzuki bean is incredibly good for most people, but there are just a couple of things to keep in mind to make sure it's right for you.
So it's all about balance, right? Because it's so high in potassium, it's fantastic for high blood pressure. But for that same reason, anyone with weak kidney function should be a little careful. Its amazing cleansing effects are great for a detox, but too much of that saponin can cause an upset stomach for some people. And in traditional medicine, it's seen as a cooling food. So if you're someone who's naturally always cold, you might just want to enjoy it in moderation.
So we've gone on this whole journey from ancient folklore to modern science labs. What's the big picture here? What's the one thing to take away from the story of this humble Azuki bean?
This is really it, right here. That ancient belief that a little red bean could ward off evil was, in its own way, a deep, intuitive understanding of its power to protect the human body. Those traditions weren't just random rituals. They were a celebration of a food that genuinely kept people healthy, strong, and full of life. Modern science just finally caught up and gave us the words to explain how it all works.
And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. The story of the Azuki bean is such a cool reminder that there is this incredible knowledge baked into the traditions and foods that our ancestors valued. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other secrets are just sitting there in our own kitchens, waiting for us to rediscover them?